Alright guys, today we're going to be doing a Lush bath bomb of the Seaweed Giant Bombshell. This one retails for $12.95, and inside of this massive thing is all of this seaweed. Now there are actually 5 different types of seaweed in this bath bomb. There's kombu, sea lettuce, kelp, dulce, if I'm saying that right, and bladderwrack. That's a fun word to say, bladderwrack. Lush says that there is sodium alginate in this bath bomb, which is supposed to give it a slippy effect. I'm not quite sure if that means like kind of like the jelly bomb consistency or not. We're gonna see once we stick it in. But as far as the scent description, it's described as a mandarin, orange flower, and vanilla absolute. I feel like I smell the orange flower and vanilla in this. I don't really feel like I smell a citrus scent at all, but we shall see once we stick it in the water. So I'm going to transfer a little bit of the seaweed over to the other half of my bath bomb before I stick it in. But as with, there goes one of them. As with these giant bombshells, I say it in all my videos, just in case, you know, this is the first giant bombshell video you've ever watched. You can use a half for one bath, like, you know, transfer some of your seaweed into this other half, and then you have 2 separate baths, or just use the entire thing for just a very luxurious soak. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer some of this seaweed. Alright, so let's stick it on in here and see what it looks like. Alright guys, our giant seaweed bombshell bath bomb is almost fizzed out. I just do have a little, couple pieces there still going slowly, but this definitely was a jelly bomb. I'm not quite sure why they didn't really come out and say it was a jelly bomb, because it definitely is. We have that just layer of jelly on top of the water. As far as the watercolor goes, we just have a very like pretty oceany blue, and in keeping with that, all of this seaweed. Now I will say, just no matter what the bath bomb itself smells like, once that seaweed hit the water, that's all I really smelled was the seaweed. So if you like the smell of seaweed, then you'll probably like this bath bomb. But if you just think the smell of seaweed is disgusting, I'd kind of consider before you purchase this. Now, I am going to be, you know, bathing in amongst all of this, which I feel is going to be either really fun and interesting, or I'm just going to be a little bit like, oh my gosh, what am I doing kind of thing, because this is a lot of freaking seaweed in this bath bomb. But I am excited to just kind of relax in here. I'm going to, you know, treat it like I'm at some sort of like spa with like a seaweed treatment going on, and see how it feels afterward, especially with all of this jelly as well. So I am going to hop on in here and enjoy this bath, and I will be back with what I thought afterwards. Alright guys, I am finished with my giant seaweed bombshell bath bomb. Really, the only thing I have much to clean up in the tub is that leftover seaweed. Most of the smaller bits did go down my drain. Didn't seem like there was too much of an issue there, but I definitely am going to pick out some of these larger pieces just so it doesn't clog up any of the, you know, drains. But okay, so this bath bomb, I didn't really know how I was going to like it at first. I was kind of like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about swimming around in all of this seaweed. But let me tell you, once I was actually in the bath, I really enjoyed it. Oddly enough, like, this might like switch some people out, but oddly enough, I liked the feeling of the seaweed kind of just like tickling me while I was sitting in the tub. Just, you know, it was like rolling around, and it would like scrape against my leg or like my foot or something, and it tickled and it made me giggle, and I was just having a lot of fun with it. So surprisingly, I did like it. But if you are a person who, you know, like if say you're washing the dishes and your hand kind of like touches a food particle and you're like, what the heck is that? You might be like a little weirded out by it, but I found it fun and just kind of soothing, really. When I first put the bath bomb in the water, as soon as that seaweed kind of got wet, because you know it was dry at first, but then obviously got wet and expanded, but that initial getting wet part, I felt like I got like a really bad whiff of like ocean water, like bad ocean water, like fishy ocean bath water is what I kind of smelled at first. But that smell did go away after my seaweed just kind of got more wet. And surprisingly enough, I feel like the scent, like I smell clean. I know that sounds so weird considering the fact of just bathing in seaweed, but the scent itself, I think, just had a clean smell to it. So, and my skin feels really nice since this was technically really a jelly bath bomb. It fizzed away pretty well. I do have just like a tiny little glob of jelly. That's really not that big of a deal. But yeah, I really did enjoy this one. So I was a little surprised by that. So you guys have to let me know what you thought down below. If you have used this one yet, how did you personally feel about all of this seaweed? So if you're not already subscribed, just hit that button and I will see you next time.